The brutal wounds left by notorious Hitman in a jail kill bid on a firebomb gang maniac have been revealed. Horror images show a huge slash mark across the cheek and neck of 29-year-old Rab Warnock after he was set upon by feared assassin Barry Baghdad Harvey, who's 37. Former footage starlet turned gangland gunman Harvey went for Warnock's throat as the bloodthirsty villain pounced in Addiewell Nick. Warnock also suffered injuries to the head and face, but the neck wound shows the sinister intent of his attacker. Feared Harvey is serving 29 years for shooting dead gym boss Gary Moore and blasting debt-ridden drug dealer Scott Bennett to the head. A source said Barry Harvey meant business and Rab Warnock was lucky not to have become his latest murder victim. Had that slash wound on his neck been any deeper, it could have been fatal. Pictures show Warnock looking glum in a selfie picture that shows a butterfly stitch in his nose, as well as marks on his face and forehead. A shot showing the side and back of his head reveals he suffered a nasty blow to the base of his skull. But it's the 7 to 8 inch long slash mark stretching from his left cheek to the back of his neck that paints the most sinister picture. We told how Harvey went for Warnock in a brutal bust-up in Addiewell where some of Scotland's most violent cons lived side by side. Harvey has been shipped around the prison estate since he was sentenced to life in March 2024 after a jury found him guilty of Moore's assassination in September 2018. Harrowing footage was played at the High Court in Glasgow, showing the moment Harvey leapt from a car and shot Moore, who was 32, 9 times outside his home in Airdrie in Lanarkshire. Ex-Partick Thistle youth player Harvey was also found guilty of shooting Bennett, who was 45, in the head at point-blank range in a vet surgery car park in December that year. He was cleared of murdering Polish criminal Rafał Lajko, who's 36, who was shot dead in Blantyre in Lanarkshire in February 2019. Harvey's co-accused, Darren Owen, who's 26, was found guilty of his involvement in the deadly plot, but it was accepted in court that Owen hadn't pulled the trigger. Harvey's victims were targeted over drug debts linked to the Glasgow mob, formerly headed up by missing brothers James and Barry Gillespie, who vanished in Brazil in 2019. We told in March how, after his switch to Addiewell, Harvey joined forces behind bars with mob boss Robert Birdman O'Hara. Sources revealed the gun killer beat up Rab Warnock after tiring of him throwing round his weight. Jail chiefs launched a probe into the attack on the gang war thug Warnock, who was caged for his role in a wave of blazes in Greenock in 2020. Insiders claimed Harvey lost his rag over the number of cons taking drugs. We previously told how Warnock was filmed flaunting white powder on a table in his cell and boasted, "Get the lines out, troops." A source said at the time details of the bloodbath emerged. Barry Harvey is a total nutcase. Apparently didn't like the way some prisoners were taking drugs and getting out of their faces. Harvey was previously held at Her Majesty's Prison in Edinburgh and Grampian Nick and Peterhead before being moved to the West Lothian Jail. His link-up with O'Hara comes after the drug lord's sentence was extended by 9 years for running a narcotics empire from his cell. The Scottish Sun's insider said the pair were now viewed as being on another level. The source said Harvey has joined forces with O'Hara and no one even comes close to them. Heroin Barra O'Hara had been jailed in 2005 after ordering a hit on 25-year-old Paul McDowell, who was stabbed to death in the city's Postle Park. His lucrative trade allowed his partner and daughter to live in £1 million houses. Cops nabbed designer goods and sports cars during a raid on their plush Glasgow townhouse in June 2021. An HMP Addiewell spokesperson said, "We don't comment on individuals."